Okay, so today we are going to be talking about a prion disease, specifically known as Kuru, okay? And basically, what it does, it infects our proteins that are in our brains, in our nervous system, all over the body, mainly in our brain, though. And it's going to go through, wreak havoc on our brain. It's going to convince all the healthy proteins, the PRPC proteins, and it is going to convince them to either misfold themselves into a PRPSC protein, or it's going to, and the cell is going to react in one of two ways. It's either going to not care, or it's going to kill itself to try and stop this. Either way, it's not good. So it's going to either inhibit the function of that cell, or it's going to delete the cell. It's going to kill itself, which is not good for us. Now, the way we can get this disease is either through eating something that has had the mutation to cause a prion, the misfolded protein, or it's going to be we had a mutation just in the brain by itself, whether it be through weak genetics, radiation, and other sources of mutation. Now, we have our brain here, and our friend, he died. Now, this originates in New Guinea, and in their culture, what they do, they eat their dead relatives' brains when they die, and this, they believe, it helps free their relative's spirit from their body so they can pass on to the afterlife. Now, this is great, this is good and all. However, we have our diseases, our prions, and when we eat our infected friend's brain, if they died from something like Kuru, we get Kuru ourselves. So we have our dead brain here, and our friends, they come along, and yum yum yum, they eat it. Okay? This isn't too great, because now we have our infected brain going down into our our digestive system, and it's going to go into the stomach through the small intestines, where we have these cool little cells called microfold protein, or not proteins, microfold cells. And what they do, they bring nutrients from the small intestine into the lymphatic system, which you can see back there. This is the yellow part back here. Now, our brain, it broke down. Our prions have not, though, because the proteins are really strong, really resistant against outside factors such as extreme heat, and they're resistant to acids such as the acid we have in our stomachs and all the digestive system down there. Now, that's not too great. Now our microfold proteins bring us over into our lymphatic system, which is closely tied to our nervous system. Oh my goodness. Our nervous system here. So we're going to go from here near the stomach, and we're going to go travel all the way up to our brain, believe it or not. So this happens through the protein just kind of traveling up through the nerves, the central nervous system, into our brain. Along the way, it's probably going to ask some of the proteins to misfold themselves. So this could inhibit motor control in those regions that it passes through. It could cause some paralysis. That's not great. And especially when we get up into the brain and our prion starts wreaking havoc on our brain again, it'll definitely cause some issues. So we lose our fine motor control. Sometimes we just lose our motor control in general, and it's not too great, and we're going to die again. Our friend here, he died. Now, because we're in New Guinea, and it is in our culture to eat our dead friend's brain, our dead relative's brain. We're going to come along, we're going to eat it again, and we go through the whole cycle again, and unfortunately the cycle continues. Now, this used to be a much bigger problem before colonization of the area took place, and it'll, like... And through colonization, through the introduction of, like, Christian values and, like, outside religion and cultural values, it decreases the amount that this is happening, just because it's not in their views anymore, and they're convinced that that's the wrong way. So that's good for this, not for other things, but that's a whole other issue. Anyway, so we have our cycle, and it's a lot less than it is now, again, because of colonization and the import of a different culture. It's now about 2 people every 5 years contract and die this illness. Every 5 years. Where it used to be like thousands every year, which was not great. So, yeah, that's what I got for you. Hope you enjoyed, whatnot, and yeah.